Well, it's the decider for the Touring Car Masters, the last race of 2011. And the situation is, DJ, that this man, your old teammate John Bowe, this sounds really easy. He's just got to finish to win this race. I should say win the championship. Let's have a look at the track. And this is why it's not a done deal. This place on paper doesn't look exciting, but when you get out there, oh, it's tough.
It's very, very narrow, and there's a lot of concrete around, as we saw yesterday.
Have a look at this. 13 corners. That final little sequence of chicanes goes in and around the railway station. You actually get off the train and you're in the track before you know it.
It's a great venue. It's fantastic, you know, viewing for the spectators, especially when they see it on the big screens. But I think Bowie's one of these guys. He's been the mathematician all weekend, I think, and he's worked it out that if I just finish this race, here we are, we've got the championship wrapped up.
And the grid that we're looking at here, this is the combined points from the weekend. So Glenn Seaton on pole in the XB Coupe. We haven't seen that car since Bathurst when it won up there. Andrew Madiki's on the front row. He's had a win this weekend, as well as John Bowe, who's on road 2 with Cam Tilley. Amanda Sparks starting 15th. We can tick the box. She is the Class A champion. She's clinched it already.
Well, that's fantastic. She beat her husband. How good's that?
Absolutely. And that's
a bit of pillow talk for you.
This is the championship with John Bowe. He's got a margin over Jimmy Richards, the reigning champ, and Andrew Madiki, and he just needs to finish this race. Doesn't matter where, as long as he gets home and collects a couple of points, it is a done deal. And in Class B, Gary O'Brien, who's starting from position 12, he just has to finish as well to wrap up the Class B championship in his Monaro. We'll be on board with Brad Tilley in the big GDHO Green Falcon. Cam Tilley just in front in the Mustang. They've had a rush with that car to change the clutch. So here we go. Final race of the weekend, final race of the season. Glenn Seaton to the right of screen, Andrew Madiki to the left. Let's let the V8s loose. John Bowe gets a great jump, and there's nowhere to go.
And Bowie is always the competitor. No matter what's on the line, he always loves to sort of get out there and have a win.
So Seaton will lead. Madiki's, is he second? Bowe up on the curb. There's 9 laps ahead in this one.
Looks like the clutch worked all right.
On board with Brad Tilley, but it's Seaton leading. Madiki, Bowe side by side with Cam Tilley into this chicane. This is so tight, and the curbs are so big.
And the curbs are what kill these cars. You know, we've seen that all weekend, that cars are having trouble. After they hit the curbs, they break their suspension.
Seaton out in front. This XB Coupe debuted earlier on in the year at the Eastern Creek round and won at Bathurst. It's been absent from the last couple of rounds, but Jim Morton and the crew are here this weekend. But Andrew Madiki,
he's hungry.
Yeah, he needs to get in front to clinch the round. Seaton and Madiki are tied on points coming into this race from the results so far. But
he's having a go.
Oh, he's not going to take no for an answer. No. Got it done.
Well, and let me tell you, Glenn wouldn't want to damage that beautiful car.
It has been dinged at a couple of rounds so far this year, but it's a beautiful car. They've done a great job. They really spent a lot of time and effort getting that XB Coupe on the track. Brad Tilley closing in on Jimmy Richards, who this time last year, we were talking to him. He was clinching the championship. He won't today.
And, you know, that's one of the deals now, because Jim was all conquering the last couple of years, but there's a lot of these other guys like Bowie and Madeki. And I can just see Bowie just sitting back there enjoying the drive, I think.
He doesn't have to do anything special. Madeki.
Oh, and he's out
turn one. Oh, he made it around.
Seaton a chance.
He didn't put it in the fence, but he lost the lead.
They just locked the rear brakes and the car, when it turns in, gets a little bit sideways, they lose car speed.
Mediki's good on the brakes. They've worked hard on this brake package on this Camaro, but Seaton takes a pile of curve and hangs on.
Well, he had the inside.
Best place to be. And that XB has got some grunt. Look at the gap it pulls on that run. Back to turn 5 through the sweeper.
That's the fastest part of the whole racetrack through that sweeper.
There's Cam Tilley, Jimmy Richards, Brad Tilley, Bernie Stack in the Camaro. Graham Alexander's next in the big Monaro. Then Matt O'Brien, Ian McAllister is 10th overall. Here's a replay.
Here we go. Once the rear wheels lock up a bit. Yep.
Just.
And he gasses it pretty hard, and sideways it goes. And it gave Seaton just a bit of a chance to get up the inside, and he's got the inside for the next corner.
Now, Andrew's had a bit of help this weekend. His son, George, who's been off in the States racing late models for Marcus Ambrose, is back. He dominated in V8 Utes here a couple of years ago. Has been passing on a few little tips to Dad, I've been told.
Oh, really?
It's working.
Well, something's working. There's Mr. Comfort Zone.
I'm sure he's been called far worse over the years.
Oh, absolutely.
There's not much he hasn't won. The 95 Australian Touring Car Champ. A couple of Bathurst 1,000 crowns with a certain man sitting next to me. Australian Driving Champ. And today, if he gets it to the line, he's a Touring Car Masters Champ as well.
He's been just about every sort of champion this country's got. You know, the sports cars, open wheelers, touring cars. You name it. That's not bad for Tassie, pretty good. Yeah.
Cam Tilley under pressure here for 4th spot from Jimmy Richards in that Falcon Sprint. And we talked about it at Sandown a few weeks ago, Nick, that this category, it just steps up every year, doesn't it?
It's sort of getting to the point where it's like V8 supercars. It's that competitive. And I think Jimmy's trying to save a couple of bucks, you know. I've noticed for the last couple of meetings, the poor old Falcon Sprint's been blowing a bit of smoke, so I think he wants to get it through this season. Then he's going to come out with the javelin. Looking forward to that. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, but knowing Jimmy, he will not do it until it's ready 100%. Absolutely. He's going to have a run here at Cam Tilley. This is the run up and over the bumps and the climb of the road. Look, the road up and down, up and down. It's like a roller coaster in a turn 9. That's what makes making a move there so hard. It is, because once you come up that hump, you've got to get on the brakes a little bit early. So when you come over the hump, you get off the brakes again, and that's why if you're not careful, you can lock a wheel there and it'll send you straight down the escape road. Brad Tilley won the first race of the year on board with him now on the streets of Adelaide, and you'd think though that the big beefy Falcons on a tight street track with plenty of 90-degree turns are going to struggle. That's what Glenn Seaton thought when he turned up here in the XB Coupe, but it's going all right. It's just set the fastest lap of the race. Absolutely. A 38.38. Mind you, it's a far cry from the old XBs of the 70s. Gee, if you took one of those to Bathurst in 73, you would have wiped the floor with them. Seaton leads. Andrew Radicki sits in second, but it is John Bowe who is on target at the moment for the Touring Car Masters Championship. He sits in third. We'll run it home after the break here at Sydney Olympic Park.
rolling. You like the 60s, you like the 70s, you've got it today in 2011. Touring Car Masters, this is the fight for the Class B Championship. Don't forget overall qualifying for the V8 Supercars. That all-important session to determine the grid for the final race of the season is still ahead. But this is Ian McAllister in the Mustang, Gary O'Brien behind. O'Brien leads Class B by 42 points. He really just has to finish to wrap it up. If he doesn't finish, McAllister really just needs to finish and he'll win the championship. So it's all about making it to that checkered flag.
It's certainly come down to the last race, which is fantastic for any championship. And I think we've had a lot of that this weekend.
Graham Alexander here, Matt O'Brien getting stuck right into it. Just behind them too, Keith Kasuki. He's picked up the rear spares hard charger award this weekend.
The old Falcon looks a bit second-hand in the front, doesn't it? It's had a couple of altercations over the weekend.
Speaking of Falcons, this is a pretty mighty one, and it's Battle of the Brothers, Cameron Tilley and Brad Tilley here. And Cameron, is he being kind here? Is he getting out of the way?
You know, hey, bro, it's your turn, you know?
Made that very easy, P5 for Brad in the big green machine. That's Bernie Stack just behind. That's the second of the cars from the Bob Middleton team that Andrew Radicki drives for.
These cars are just so much better than they ever were before. They're so reliable, and these guys drive them extremely hard, which is fantastic.
And that was the basis, DJ, that why this series was born out of what still is historic touring car racing, just to modernise some of the components, to make them a bit more reliable, a bit more durable, and funnily enough, there's a little bit more performance in some of them as well.
There's a lot more performance, I can tell you. And the most difficult part about these things is the fact that finding body panels for them.
Well, when they did them, it does make it a little bit harder. Now, this is turn one. Matt O'Brien, this is not looking good. Not looking good. Graham Alexander, don't turn in.
Oh, he had two a turn and two a burn.
He did a good job, though, of not wiping the other two out. And he is now at the tail of the field. That's a real shame for him. Seaton still leads, 2.5 seconds of margin. Back to Andrew Radicki. John Bowe is cruising in third.
He's 2 seconds behind the guy in front and 2 seconds in front of the guy behind.
Well, he's 5 seconds now in front of Jimmy Richards, so he's built himself a nice little cushion here. And he can just bring it on home. Great shot here down from the front straight to turn one, which catches a lot of people out.
It certainly does, because you've got a fair bit of pace going down there, and there's not a lot of room for mistakes.
Cam Tilley trying to get that up the inside. We actually thought that car might not make the grid. They were doing a clutch change on it earlier on. It was a bit of a rush. But now Ian McAllister, we go back to this fight in Class B with Gary O'Brien. Remember these two banged into one on the Gold Coast off the grid and ended up in the concrete.
Big time.
They've been the performers of Class B this year. Remember that there's 3 classes in Touring Car Masters. Amanda Sparks, Class A champ, is just back in shot. The silver Porsche just coming in the screen, just behind her husband Greg Keane, who's in the yellow version. And Greg started at the back. He broke the steering arm in race 2 late yesterday, so was forced to start down the rear.
It's great to see a husband and wife team doing something like this. They obviously enjoy it immensely.
And they're separated quite often by no more than a couple of seconds. It's really close. Here's the man of the moment, John Bowe. After this one, he's got two laps to go. And well, I think it'll be an easy job postseason. He just has to peel the 8 off. He's already got the 1.
I tell you what, is funny thing about Barry is, because Barry and Andrew Radicki have been competitors against one another in just about every category of motor racing that they've both partaken in. And I think Andrew, he's happy if he just beats Barry.
Let's just have a listen and see how the man is working when he's got 2 laps to go. looking ahead with 1 lap to go. There's someone smoking. Seaton just did a 1:40.3 that time around. It's the XB. It's got a lap to go, and it's breathing heavy, leaving a oil trail behind it. It's smoking like crazy. He dropped 2 seconds last time around. He's trying to hang on for the race and the round win, but Mediki will get the job done. He wants to get out of there. He just doesn't want to end up on anything that's dropping out of that Falcon or caught in the smoke screen. And JB's got to be careful here. Hopefully there's no pressure to make left on the road.
Oh, absolutely. I must say that when we were in car with JB, let me tell you, he was never that sympathetic in the gear changes when he was driving our car.
I can tell you why, because it was yours, not his.
He's not paying the bills.
And you can see him just weaving in the background. This is not what he needs on the final lap. He's got to just take it really steady here.
He's being very cautious, I can tell you. He's staying right out of the oil trail.
He's got everything to lose and not much more to gain by doing anything silly. Look at Mediki's on his way home.
If it meant passing Cedo for the championship, I can assure you he'd be right up there, but he's just playing it cool.
The final run, it's been another great year of Touring Car Masters. We've absolutely enjoyed it. It is one of the really strong support categories to the V8 Supercars Championship. The fans love it. We certainly love it. And we will bring down the curtain on 2011. Andrew Mediki picks up the race in the round, but John Bowe, third place, will do it. He is the Touring Car Masters champ.
Fantastic.
He's done it beautifully all year. He's won 12 races. He has been the dominant driver. He's won 4 rounds of the series, and he's got it done. Alan Moffat never won a championship in a Trans Am Mustang. John Bowe has. Great job. Great camaraderie between these guys too. To recap the results, Mediki Seaton, champ John Bowe, Jimmy Richards, outgoing champ, is 4th from Brad Tilley. Bernie Stack in 6th. Keith Kasuki rounds out the top 10, but John Bowe has clinched the championship. That's it for Touring Car Masters. The V8 Utes are still to come.